So there's obviously a bit of cheating going on.
On the frontier, rip-offs are common.
We often get weights and measures which say they're one thing and definitely are not.
Whether it's spoiled wine or a tipped scale, getting caught cheating is not taken lightly. In Roman cities, committing robbery could bring a sentence of crucifixion. Even offenses like bribery or slander could result in death. Out on the frontier, justice was dispensed by local garrison commanders.
Roman army punishment is usually very straightforward. Your company commanders all have as their basic badge of office a vine stick, and they use it.
Shadow.
Punishments for even the smallest crimes are severe, both for soldiers and civilians. One letter, discovered at Vindolanda, is a personal appeal from a merchant. For the crime of cheating his customers, he faces a brutal whipping.
As befits an honest man, I implore your mercifulness not to allow me, a man from overseas and an innocent one, about whose good faith you may inquire, to have been bloodied by rods as if I had committed a crime.
The plea for mercy is denied. The Burleys are intrigued by a single phrase within the letter where the merchant refers to himself as a man from overseas.
I'm a man from overseas. That's a very interesting statement, that, because what he's saying is, look, I'm a proper Roman. Beatings are for Brits, not for people like me.
Roman oppression of native people may well have included atrocities far worse than whippings. Recently, new and chilling evidence emerged from the bog. Staring excavators in the face was the skull of a decapitated man.
A small set of almost panic swept across my face because I really wasn't expecting anything of that sort to be there.
In spite of their defeat at Mons Gropius, the Britons remained a constant threat to the Romans at the end of the 1st century. All hope for peace has been shattered, and we now know the soldiers here had more to worry about than just their own lives. When archaeologists excavate a barracks, they discover the men of Vindolanda had made yet another adaptation to the frontier.
You'd expect a squad of 8 men in each of these rooms. But when we analysed the finds from these rooms, and particularly when our leather expert analysed the finds, she reported that in 2 of the rooms, most of the footwear belonged to women and children.
Roman soldiers had taken common-law wives and started families.
And that really knocks on the head the idea of this poor old Roman soldier having to do his own mending and washing and everything. Don't you believe a word of it.
Queen of them all was Vindolanda's fashion diva, the commander's wife, Sulpicia Lepidina.
We know quite a bit about Lepidina from the writing tablets. She's just a little bit vain, I think. She's got a very nice, neat foot. She has her shoes imported from a very expensive shoemaker in Gaul.
Lepidina led an active social life and had close friends. A party invitation sent by the wife of the commander of a nearby fort is both sophisticated and deeply felt.
Greetings. I send you a warm invitation to come to us on September 11th for my birthday celebrations, to make my day more enjoyable by your presence. Farewell, sister, my dearest soul.
While Lepidina fills her social calendar, Messicus and his brothers hone their survival skills. To find the enemy's weak points, They practice with wooden mock-ups of the Long Britain swords. Javelin practice is also a must. Fixed with sharp-tempered points, their shafts bend on impact, making them difficult to pull out of a wound. This ancient target attests to the deadly aim of Roman javelin jockeys.
They would get something like an ox skull like this, stick it on a pole, got all sorts of little holes, bang, straight into it.
Javelins may have also played a role in early attempts at psychological warfare. One javelin, found at Vindolanda, has a mysterious hole in the point.
When this is really thrown hard, the head will rotate and it'll probably give off a little whistling noise, which I suppose adds to the effect of terror.
For enemies of Rome, terror extends beyond death itself. The Batavians practice a gruesome tradition on the battlefield, taking heads for souvenirs. At the dig site, the Burleys find possible confirmation of this savage ritual.
Well, you've got half a skull. Where's the other half? We're going to have it analysed, and we're going to test to see whether the person has been scalped alive and then killed, or has had the hair removed after death.
Such atrocities only stiffen Britain resistance to the Roman invaders. But in 117 AD, the Britons finally get some good news. Ironically, it comes from the heart of Rome itself. Emperor Trajan, the architect of imperial domination, has died. Rome had seemed as hard and invincible as its canyons of marble and stone. Now, the death of Trajan runs like a crack through the foundation.
All round the frontiers, or the people on the fringes, rose against Rome or rose in rebellion, and this included the Britons.
Near Vindolanda, tribal leaders do their best to tarnish the gleam of Roman might in the eyes of their warriors.
The gods have delivered them into our hands. Be not frightened of the idle display, the glitter of gold and of silver, which can neither protect nor wound.
As the Britons' resistance intensifies, more complex weapons are issued to the men of Vindolanda. One of the most effective is the ballista, a lethal anti-personnel weapon originally developed by the Greeks. Cocked like a giant crossbow, it fires iron-tipped bolts through the air at speeds of 150 feet per second. The impact is so powerful, the missiles pierce heavy armor. But for Messicus and his mates, finding human targets will be the problem. The Britons now avoid the open battlefield. They fight a hit-and-run war, picking off the Romans one by one. Native tactics so incensed the Romans, one soldier vents his disgust in a letter found at Vindolanda.
Their cavalry do not use swords, nor do the wretched Britunculi take up fixed positions in order to throw javelins.
There's this extraordinary expression, a previously unknown word, Britunculi, which you have to regard as either pathetic little Brits or nasty little Brits. And then it says the little Brits can't sit up properly to hurl their javelins.
The Britons have found the fatal flaw in Roman strategy. Now, Messicus and his brothers face a new enemy, themselves.
Where they couldn't cope is exactly the same as where modern armies can't cope, and that is guerrilla warfare in mountainous, forested regions.
The Britons have become invisible. To find them, Messicus and his brothers are forced to leave the open battlefield. In this new realm, the element of superior force comes in a poor second to the element of surprise. The Romans are thrown off guard by the fury of their enemy.